The weight of the previous message, "Listen for Leo. He is in danger," propelled Eliza out of her room and toward the first line of defense, the school administration. She didn't bother with her phone again, needing to speak to someone face-to-face before the next event occurred. The looming darkness of the school play's dress rehearsal felt like an inevitable deadline. She found Ms. Evans, the guidance counselor, in her office, the same office Leo sometimes frequented. Eliza burst in, trying to balance frantic urgency with the need to sound rational. "Ms. Evans, I need to report something critical about the auditorium," Eliza started, trying to keep her voice steady. "There's a threat, a direct threat, scheduled for the dress rehearsal tonight. Someone is planning an accident involving the stage lights." Ms. Evans, usually warm, looked up with strained patience. "Elisa, honey, take a breath. Are you feeling overwhelmed by college applications? We can talk about managing stress." "No, this isn't stress. This is real. I got messages proof. They told me the water fountain was going to break, and it did," Eliza pleaded, feeling the familiar sting of being dismissed as overly anxious or unstable. The counselor's expression hardened slightly. "Eliza, you need to relax. I know things have been difficult since you and Leo drifted apart, but we can't start making up stories about vandalism or danger based on some anonymous text." The mention of Leo and the way Ms. Evans implied the fountain incident was just a dramatic projection of Eliza's own anxieties about her friendship was infuriating. Eliza realized she was failing. The architect had engineered this perfectly. No one would believe the story of the anonymous texts without seeing them, and showing them would only confirm her instability. Defeated and shaking her head, Eliza spun around and walked out, leaving the counselor's office convinced she was alone against this invisible enemy. She stepped into the deserted hallway, the silence suddenly feeling heavy and hostile. "BZZT." Her phone screamed in her pocket. It was the unknown number. She pulled it out, dreading the next cryptic instruction. The architect hadn't just been watching her conversation. They'd been monitoring her entire interaction. The new text was simple, mocking her failure, greater than "they won't believe a ghost. You need proof." Before Eliza could even process the sting of the insult, a second message arrived attached to the first Dan audio file. She tapped it, and despite her intention to listen privately, the small speaker on the phone played the recording loud enough to echo slightly in the empty corridor. It was Leo's voice, distorted through heavy digital filtering, ragged with pain and terror. It wasn't a clear message, just a wrenching, choked sound, like he was fighting for breath. "Help." The sound cuts off into static. Eliza felt a physical jolt. That sound was real. The threat against Leo was immediate. The audio file stopped, and the final line from the architect appeared, confirming her darkest fear. "The architect sees all. Don't tell." This message was subtly differented, used handwriting font, mimicking old script. Eliza stared, realizing the architect was referencing a secret she hadn't told anyone since she was a child. She frantically flipped the screen to see the original source code of that last message, tucked deep in the metadata of the font choice. She found a bizarre, embedded clue: abandoned observatory on the hill overlooking the town, scheduled for tonight.